All right, welcome out to another episode of the Pirates Cove podcast. This will be episode 104, and I've got the special guest with us here Thursday early afternoon. We got Rockport Fulton Pirates head new athletic director, head football coach Jacob Bible. Coach Bible, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir, coach. We've been wanting to get you on for quite some time, and I told the guys, listen, let's just wait till right before the season starts. We'll bring them in. We'll ask them some questions. And I'm being told that you're going to be coming on. So we're going to be doing this every Thursday. Coach Bible is going to spend a little bit of time with us here to talk about the games, recap the week before, and talk about the upcoming games. So I'm really excited about having Coach Bible on the Pirates Cove every Thursday, about 1 o'clock or so. So you can definitely tune in to that. And so, Coach, thank you again for spending some time with us. I got a few questions for you. Not going to keep you long. And if you're ready, we'll get started. Let's start with question number one. Just tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you come from Oklahoma and then you transitioned over to Texas. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, sir.
All right. So I was very fortunate growing up to be surrounded by some great men. And those great men were my coaches, and from little league, middle school through high school, and those high school coaches gave me the opportunity to go play at the next level, play college ball, and I did a lot of practicing at that level, but and a little bit of playing, but more practicing than anything. And then, I got a phone call towards, in the end of graduation, and my old high school head coach kind of asked me where I was in graduation and certifications and whatnot, if was interested in coaching, and I was in the School of Education there in college, um, and kind of went from there and went on a couple interviews and accepted the position from there. And I knew I could never step away from the game of football, so teaching and coaching was my option there, and that's kind of my drive behind coaching is just that influence that they've had on me, and I try to do the same thing.
Yes, sir. And I think it's great that when you go into coaching. I always wanted to go into coaching. I became a counselor, but boy, coaching was something I always wanted to do. I got a little older and never did it. So this is the best I can do now is just kind of run a podcast and talk sports. But sports has always been in me since I was a kid. It's just something that I grew up loving. Not much of a football player. I played a little bit when I was younger. I tried baseball, coach, and I knew right away that wasn't my sport. So the one thing I excelled really good at, soccer was okay, but basketball was my sport. It just came real natural to me, and so that's what I stuck with. But I love all kinds of sports. So now we'll talk about you started your coaching career in Oklahoma, then you transferred over, crossed over, and came over to Texas. I would ask you, where have you coached here in Texas? I know you won a couple of state titles with Alito, but what got you to, hey, look, I'm going to go over to Texas and coach there versus staying here in Oklahoma?
So after my first year of coaching with Steve Huff, who was a state championship coach at College Station, high school, he opened up that school. He's now at Decatur, but he hired me right out of college, and I knew working for him after 1 year, I knew I wanted to be a head football coach. And so every single responsibility that I had, I kind of asked myself, how would a head coach handle this? How would a head coach handle this responsibility? And that's how I carried it out. And I went on several interviews just a couple of years into my career, and I got my first head coaching job at the age of 29. And unfortunately, the superintendent, I say unfortunate, but looking back, it wasn't, bankrupt the school. And I was going into that. Then he told me in May we were going into that next season with only three assistant coaches, and so I told him, like, I'm going to go ahead and go on down, move my family down to Texas, and because I'd hired a coach, a defense coordinator out of Texas, and he kind of gave me some insight on, as far as how Texas schools operate and athletic periods and the amount of financial backing that athletics gets down here, and I wanted my kids to be a part of that. So we moved down and have been at some very successful places, and have had some experience as an AD and head football coach. I'm very fortunate for those positions, and kind of led me here.
And I would have to ask Coach Apollo, what attracted you to Rockport Fulton? You know,
Yeah, so I didn't know. I've heard of Rockport Fulton, just very little, kind of looking through as you kind of, and getting into playoffs, and you're just kind of seeing what teams are in playoffs, over the years. And I do remember seeing Rockport. I didn't know where it was. I had no idea it was off the coast. And then when this position popped open, I Googled it, and I saw that it was on the coast. And I told my wife several years ago I could see myself living off the coast for a few years. And then I saw that they had passed a bond to build new high school and athletic facilities, and so that kind of got me interested in the position. And then coming down and meeting the board and the administration, I mean they were unbelievable. And so it was a very, very good interview experience, and getting to know them. I knew they were rock solid and very supportive. And then everything we've been able to do, as far as putting in the new turf here, and the all the forward thinking that we have as a collective district, it's been really awesome. And then meeting the kids. I mean, the kids are all awesome. Kids are unbelievable. I tell everybody, like, it's almost a dream world, because like they work so dang hard, and so it's awesome to be a part of it.
Yes, coach, and Rockport's it's a beautiful place. I mean, I graduated here in '92, and it's a great place to live. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. So we're glad to have you here. And like I said, I'm just excited. I've had a whole bunch of questions. I said, man, I'm not going to bombard him with all those questions. But we're glad to have you here, and definitely looking forward to the season. And that starts tomorrow in Corpus. It'll be a scrimmage with CC Ray. So definitely we'll be out there taking a look at that and coming back and talking about it on Tuesday. Coach, I would ask you about your assistant coaches. I know that you have some new coaches. Obviously, you brought them in. I know some from last year are still here, but there's a lot of new faces. So definitely would ask you just to kind of talk a little bit about them. If you can tell us they're going to play on the offense or defense side, and what can we expect from them coming into the 2023 season?
Yeah, so the coordinators that I've hired, I didn't coach with them, but I've coached against them in my career. At Alito, I coached against our offensive coordinator. We were both assistant soccer coaches, and so I coached him. So I kind of knew him there. And then when I went to Heritage, he was at Corsicana, and I coached against him there. So we kind of ran into each other a couple of times at powerlifting, and then during football season when we played each other. And the defensive coordinator, he's when I was an AD head coach out in Kermit, he was special teams coordinator and defensive line out in Pecos. And so we're kind of familiar with each other, but not. So it's kind of weird how it ended up in not actually coaching with the guys, but coaching against them. And so I've been able to also hire some young coaches, first year guys that are going to be that have already made an impact on our program. They just kid magnets that are just solid leaders, and so it's kind of going to be real fun to watch them grow as well.
Absolutely. And we're looking forward. Hopefully, we can get some of those coaches on throughout the season, kind of get to know them a little bit here on the Pirates Cove, and to introduce them to the community, and just have them and get their thoughts on what they're doing here. So it's exciting. Like I said, Rockport Fulton, we love football here. People can't wait till the football season starts. So you're going to see a lot of people going to be looking out for you. They're going to be supporting you. That's the one thing that we try to do here, Coach, on the Pirates Cove, is we try to show the support. We want to get what you're doing there. A lot of people really don't know. So we're just a small part of getting out and letting the community know what's going on and what our athletes are doing. Coach, how's practice been going so far? I know you started 2 days here. About the two. This is the second week, I believe. How are things going? And with practice, I know it's really hot out there, but what are you guys doing out there at practice?
So we've been getting up early in the morning and practicing. We've been fortunate that our principals have worked with us to allow our coaches to push back their professional development to be able to show up at either 8:15, 8:30. So we've been getting after it at 6 o'clock. Hey, we went 5:30 in the morning one morning. 6:30 in the morning has kind of been the norm. So I'm proud of the kids for getting up. I appreciate the parents. I know that's kind of a burden, getting up that early and taking their kids to practice, but they've responded well, and I appreciate that. They show up. They're on the practice field at 6:10, and we don't start until 6:30. So I will go out in the locker room, and so I'm like, man, where's everybody at? And they're already out in the practice field. So it's pretty neat to see that. And I think they're responding well to the practices. A way different format than what they're used to, and just a way different vibe for them out there. And so I think they're enjoying it. It's pretty new for the coaches as well, probably all of them. And that was like the first couple of days of just number one, getting the coaches used to what our schedule was going to be. And then I told them, like, get used to this schedule, because this schedule is going to be what it is, until hopefully we play through December.
Yes, sir. And when is the field going to be ready, Coach? Do you have any idea when actually our first game will be? Will it go with the schedule, or are you a little behind?
No, we're ahead of schedule. Right on schedule, actually. So it should be ready to go next week. We should be practicing on it next week.
Wow, turf, man! I tell you, I can't wait to see it, Coach. Everybody else was going to turf. I was wondering, we were one of the only schools I think around that still played on natural grass. So I was just kind of wondering. And then when I heard, yeah, we're going natural, I said, okay, I'll probably be in 2, 3 years. And I said, no, no, man, let's go. This is next year. And I said, wow. So I'm excited to have that turf. I've seen other schools have it, and I think it's great that Rockport has it. And I definitely can't wait till I go out there and take some pictures of it.
Yeah, we
Coach,
went. We got up top of the stadium yesterday to kind of give the final approval of the lettering and the logo and all that, and it looks beautiful.
yes, sir. I've seen some pictures of it, and it definitely does. I'm excited about it. When I first heard it, I was like, it's about time we went to turf. I want to see what we can do there. It's what a lot of schools are going to now. So I'm just glad that it's now coming here to Rockport Fulton. Coach, the next thing I'll ask is our offense. What can we expect to see from the Pirate offense this year? I'm sure it'll be different, but what are you looking to install in here for us to see here this 2023 season?
Yeah, like, as far as being different, everything's different. As far as strength and conditioning, offense, defense, special teams, every bit of it is going to be new, and that's going to be the growing pains with it is how much new. But I think the kids have responded well to it. As far as what you'll see offensively, you definitely, no matter what offense you run, the ability to run the ball has got to be an importance. It's got to be what you do. And that's kind of my selling point coming in and to these kids was we have to be able to run the ball so that throwing the ball is that much more easier. And we're going to just take advantage of that. And we got some kids that got pretty good hands and can run a little bit. And so getting them in open space and slinging the ball around a little bit. So I think you'll see a fun offense to be a part of.
Yeah, I'm excited. That's the one thing that people get excited about, or at least I do when a new coach comes in. He brings in a new system, and it's always exciting for a fan to just to see what it's going to look like, and can't wait for week one, right? So definitely there are growing pains. Obviously, you got to go through that. A new system, it takes a little bit of time. But I'm excited, Coach Bible, about just the kids and what you're talking about. I seen the other interview you had also, and I think it was with Sports Unlimited, and I really liked what you said. I mean, I was like, man, this is going to be really exciting to see. So it's good for this year, but it's definitely good too, Coach, to see what the next couple of years are going to look like once it really gets going. It's going to be really exciting. So we'll be here talking to you about it as the success happens. So I can't wait for that to take place. Now we'll turn over to the defensive side. I know you were a defensive coordinator. What kind of defense are you looking to run? What is that going to look like?
We'll run a 4-3 from, even though I didn't start my career on the offensive side, the team that I was, or sorry, I started on the offensive side, but the team that I was a part of, we were a 4-3 defense. And so that's just kind of what I've been around my entire career. That's what I know. I know, like, when a team does this, here's the answer. A team does this, here's the answer. And it's just a simple defense that has simple keys that all matches up and allows the kids to play really fast and really hard and not second guess themselves, but concentrate on their opponent more.
Yeah, and I saw last year, of course, we pay attention to returning players that come back. And I don't know if these guys, I'm sure they'll still be on defense, but you got some guys that were young last year They really showed a lot. And I know they'll be coming back this year. So if they play on defense, it's gonna be real excited. I'm definitely looking to see what those guys are gonna do. So I definitely got some guys that can play defense here. I saw that last year. They'll be turning back this year. So I'm excited about that. Now we'll talk over to your first scrimmage. You got your first scrimmage of the season coming up tomorrow. It's at Buck Stadium in Corpus Christi against the Ray Texans. We've been kind of scrimmaging them here the last couple of years. What are you looking for? What are you looking for the team as you go into the scrimmage? There's always some improvements, right? What do you want to see from the Pirates going into that first scrimmage tomorrow night?
I really want us to build on the momentum that we built up during our 7-on-7. We got together with GP and Sinton and had a little 3-round, 3-team 7-on-7 a few weeks there in June, and we started to figure out our offense a little more, figure out our defense a little more, and we just as we started to figure it out and the responsibilities, we started competing just a little bit harder because it was less thinking. It was just more doing. And that's what I want to see when we go face Ray tomorrow night is within our defense, within our offense, when the bullets are flying, do they hone in and be disciplined to their responsibilities, no matter who their opponent is. And so that's kind of what I want to see. Are we going to, kind of revert back to what they know, or is it everything that they've been taught these last, few months going forward when it's live competition?
Yeah, I was out there in Sinton to catch some of those games. Sean Howe threw some really nice passes. I saw it there. We got some video of it. Then I saw some receivers. Blake Garcia had a good catch. Trevor Garcia. I mean, there were some guys out there that made some incredible catches. So I saw some stuff that you're talking about, not 7-7 and Sinton, that was really impressive. We were able to get a little bit of video and put it up on the Pirates Cove Sports Network there on the Facebook. So definitely excited. Like I said, the first practice coming in tomorrow, or scrimmage, I'm sorry, and it's just excited. The scrimmage just started, and in 2 weeks we'll see first game back at Buck Stadium against the Miller Bucks, which brings me to my next question. I want to get your thoughts on the 2023 season, Coach. I can tell you because I seen it. It's a you're playing a good team every week. Starts with Miller, the non-district, all playoff teams last year. The district, it's tough. So, just your thoughts on the teams that you're going to be playing. Do you know anything about these teams? I know you're not from this area, so you're probably not too familiar with any of these teams at all.
Yeah, not too familiar.
What are your thoughts about going into the season, the non-district, especially getting in there? I know that's where you prepare for the district, and there's some really good offenses that your defenses are going to see. Some good quarterbacking from Miller. Sinton always has a good quarterback. Ingleside's got a good one. Flower Bluff. What are you hoping to see from your defense when they face these good offenses?
Yes, I don't know if it's a strength or weakness of mine, but when I see a challenge, man, I get fired up. So I love, we have our schedule, right now. I love it going into year one. Again, with this new staff and everything being so new, like how are we going to react as a team? How are we going to be when we have high competition starting in week one, and it's not going to stop all season long. So that'll be fun to watch and fun watch us grow and react and learn as we move on. As far as defense and the quarterbacks, that's just to me, it's if they're athletic, it makes it even tougher when you got to tackle them. As far as the passing game goes, you keep good eye discipline and try to just carry out your responsibility and do your job in the back end and on the second level, you can kind of mitigate some yards after catch. You're not going to stop every single pass. But the key is being able to get pressure on the quarterback and then tackle him after that. That's another deal.
Yeah, it is. And, I've always said when I play sports, I wanted to play against a good team. It fired me up too. When I played basketball, I didn't want to play a team I knew we could beat by 40. It just didn't motivate me. But man, when people were talking about the other team, I wanted to be the best. Even it just brought out the best in me. And I gave 100 plus. I knew who was coming into the gym. I knew where we were going, and I wanted to play hard for the school. And and I wanted to win. So there is something to be said. You should get fired up every week when you're playing the other teams that are good and have been in the playoffs for quite some time. So it's just going to be a very interesting and fun time here for Rockport coming in with a new offense that I think we're going to get better as it goes. I'm looking forward to seeing what the young guys can do. It's just going to be a lot of fun. And I'll be there every Friday, Coach. We call the games. We get up in there in the stands and we have a page. And so we call it up. Rick Walker, the Z-Man, Zavala, and Rob Walker, they'll be out there calling the games for you. And then we'll be back every Thursday at around 1 o'clock. You can expect Coach Bible here on the Pirates Cove Sports Network. And it'll be me or Rick Walker that'll be interviewing him, and we'll be talking to him, recapping the week prior, and then previewing the upcoming game. So I can't wait for that, Coach. Thank you for coming in and spending some time with me. Good luck tomorrow. I know it's just a scrimmage, man, but I'll be out there. Definitely want to see what we're going to be doing. But I'll give you the final thought. The final thought here on the Pirates Cove. Anything you want to say before I let you go and we see you back next Thursday?
Yeah, I mean, I want to give shout out to our kids. Like I told you, since I've stepped on campus here, they have worked their tails off, and so I want everybody to understand, like when we're coaching them hard, like they deserve that. They've worked hard for that, and I want the absolute best for them, and so that's just kind of what you should expect from our coaches and our players.
Coach, I got to tell you, I think you're going to do a great job here. We're glad to have you here in Rockport, and we hope you stick around for quite some time, Coach. We definitely have had some success the last couple of years. Rockport, I know when I was in school, Coach, we didn't win very many ball games. I mean, if we made it to the first round of the playoffs, we thought we were in a championship game. I mean, it was exciting here. In the last couple of years, we've been winning, and it's been nice to get in the playoffs, deep in the playoffs. So I think this community now understands and they support, and we want to continue that route in going into the playoffs, winning district titles, and getting 2-3 rounds in the playoffs. And so definitely you'll get my support. You have the support of the Pirates Cove Sports Network, Coach, and I'll say it here: anything you need from us, Coach, don't ever hesitate to let me know or let Rick Walker know. In any way we can help you, we'll help you, Coach. So we definitely support you. Thank you for coming out and spending some time with me here, and we'll see you next Thursday at 1 o'clock here on the Pirates Cove Podcast Sports Network. Have a great one, Coach. We'll see you tomorrow night.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.